So I want to show you guys a clip real quick that really bothered me while viewing social media. And I hate how nowadays they try to make old-fashioned principles and things that used to be common sense to mothers and grandmas back in the day, like the fact that females need their own bedroom different from their male counterpart brother. Like the fact that even if they're twins, if one is a male and one is a female, obviously they're going to need separate rooms because one is a girl, one is a boy. They're not the same sex. Well, in this next clip, it deems the grandma evil for saying, oh no, they need separate rooms. They're too old to be sleeping together. And all the liberals are saying, what? They're twins. Who cares if they're a boy or a girl? They have this mutual bond. They should be together. No, you're idiots. They're separate sex. They need their own room. A boy and a girl should not be in the room together, even if their sister and brother sleeping together. A girl can be with her sister, a boy can be with their brother, as far as living in the same room. But obviously, a sister and a brother should not be living in the same room. They're going to need their privacy because they're two different sexes. Girls don't do what boys do. Boys don't do what girls do. You know, we know sometimes we can watch movies. Some things we can do neutrally. But in general, we have titties. We have a vagina. They have dinglings. We do different things. They need to be with their boyfriends. We need to be with our girlfriends. We need our separate spaces. So let's watch this next clip and let's watch how they deem the grandmama a demon for saying, oh no, they're getting too big. Why are they walking into the same room together? What's the big deal? You're idiots. Let's get into it. And I want you guys to share your thoughts after I come back and share the rest of mine.
Babies. No, that ain't right.
What's so important I couldn't wait till morning?
Watching you and Jack walk into that room together and shut the door behind yourself, well, it made Grandma feel some kind of way. You're a young lady now, and you need your privacy. Before you and Jack grow up to be little weirdos the family doesn't bring to cookouts.
Well, you've never been a twin before, so of course you don't understand our bond. Look, me and Jack, we're like bacon and eggs.
Toss me the coconut oil, please. Trying to make my triceps pop.
Little weirdos the family doesn't bring to cookouts.
Hey, wanna wrestle? Whoa, how about some privacy? Okay, do you think it's weird that we still share a room?
Of course not, we're twins.
That's what I told Grandma. She thinks we need our own space now.
Most of her siblings didn't even survive intimacy.
I think you mean infancy, friend.
And that's exactly why I need you around.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go to the kitchen. Okay. Oh, bring me some popcorn. See, look at us. Is that a real bra? You're so lucky that you get to share a room with a girl. She's my sister. I hate to tell you this, buddy, but your sister's a girl.
Jack, you have to come look at this. It's hilarious.
I'm good.
What's wrong?
I've been thinking about what you were saying before, and maybe Grandma was right about us needing a little privacy.
Oh, right.
Maybe it wouldn't kill us to try something new. You know, keep things fresh.
Maybe you're right.
This is the right do, right?
Yeah, it is.
Grandma gets results. Ain't that right, babe?
Okay, so the clip opens up with them walking together to their bedroom. Very close too, which is kind of weird because most brothers and sisters be like, get away, big head, or why you say like they'll be pushing on each other. They might laugh and, you know, they'll laugh, hug, talk gossip or whatever, but they're not gonna be like walking out weird and close like they like Siamese twin. Like, what the heck? It was some weird energy right there. So I was with the grandma. They was on some weird stuff. But I know the show was trying to act like she's the demonic one. It's like, no, y'all are the weirdos. First of all, they super close. Like it's two little 5-year-old girls going to bed at night. That's normal. Same sex, you know. And I know twins, even if they are a male and a female, they still have this very strong bond because virtually it was one egg that split into two. I'm not doubting that you have a strong bond. What I'm saying is wrong is to have a female and a male that are twins in the same room, period. I wouldn't even put them in the same room as children or kids, but especially once they start to hit, I don't know, what, 10, 11, 12, closer to puberty, I'm not putting them in the same room, period, like I said, but I feel like if you do, you can get away with it while they're small, at least, but once they're getting older, they need their privacy, they need their separation because boys don't do what boys do, girls don't do what girls do, girls have vaginas, we have titties, they have dinglings. They, you know, we can't get out the shower and be walking by. You don't want to see your brother naked. You don't want to see your sister naked. We don't care to see none of our siblings naked, but at least two sisters can be comfortably, you know, walking in the room naked. They got the same parts. They both girls. And same thing with boys. But this whole boy and girl thing, that's not their girlfriend, their wife. That's your brother and sister. Brothers and sisters don't want to see each other naked or be seeing, you know, that they should not be in the same room sleeping together. They should be the same sex. Brothers with the brothers, girls with the girls. So when you see them go in the room and she's like, something ain't right with that, she's absolutely right. And then you see them in the video and then she's like, we don't want y'all to be weird and the weird people that can't come to the cookout. You absolutely right. We've seen some brothers and sisters in history that have absolutely fell in love with each other. In Virginia, some of the rednecks, some of the mountain people that have actually fell in love and had kids, and their kids came out with disabilities because they sit up there having incest, because they sleeping in the same room with their siblings when they need to have their own room. That's not your boyfriend or girlfriend, all that weird stuff. So I agree with the grandma, even though I know the film is trying to make it seem like something wrong with her. This is what liberals do. No, the fact is that's a young lady. She needs her own space, her own privacy. And even though that's her twin, he needs his own space, his own privacy. Because again, girls don't do what boys do. Boys don't do what girls do. We got different parts. It needs to be like that. No brothers and sisters want to be that close to each other. They're going to be hitting on each other like, get out the way, big head. You know, talking to their girlfriend, talking to their boyfriend. Second problem I found with it was when she was like, I'm finna get some popcorn. And he was like, oh yeah, me too. Look at us. Boys don't talk like that. That's that new generation liberal lib neutral boy, turn the boys into girls stuff. He was too feminine. He was already like super soft spoken. That'd be that suburban stuff. Like I want my kids to be raised in the suburbs, but I still want them to have soul. I still want them to have that deep black voice. Like I want the men to sound like men. I don't want them to sound all soft and sugary. A lot of times in the suburbs, you raise your kids, y'all come from the hood and you raise your kids in the suburbs. They go, the boys turn super soft, they turn gay, and I'm not with that stuff. I'm not with that stuff. A man needs to be a man. A little boy needs to sound like a boy. He don't need to sound like a girl. Look at us. Boys don't say stuff like, look at us. He was like, I'm about to get some popcorn. He was like, oh yeah, look at us. No, that's not what boys do. They chop off baby doll heads. They play with snakes. They play with trucks. They play with worms. They play video games. They be rolling in the dirt. They be climbing trees. Girls be playing with dolls, painting their nails. They be talking on the phone about the boys they like. You know what I'm saying? They like to play with makeup, shoes, jewelry. That's what girls do. Boys don't talk like us, and we don't talk like girls. I mean, we don't talk like them. We have our own natures, and we have to respect that, even in a house with twin siblings that are different sexes, because they are still different sexes, and we have to protect them in that, how do I say that, in their I don't want to, how do I say this, in the essence of what their sex is. So if it's a female, even though she got a brother that is her twin, she's still a young lady. She needs to have tea parties. She needs to be learned how to be how to dress like a lady, how to sit like a lady, how to talk like a lady. You know how we play dolls and get ready to be a mom and stuff like that. She can be a lawyer. She can be a truck driver. I'm not saying she can't do some of these. If she want to work in construction, she can do that. But it's certain things that she needs to be taught as a young lady that a boy doesn't need to sit there and get his nails done, have tea parties, be taught how to be nurturing, playing with baby dolls because you're already getting ready for motherhood later on. You know, and then boys need to be taught how to be a man. Go take out the trash, go play some football. I'm not talking about some, oh, look at us. Baby, I wish my son, baby, no. No, sir, better go take out that trash, go put you in football this season, baby. Get that sugar right up out of there. And you can't beat the gay or the sugar out of nobody. Only God can, but I'm not going to foster that too. If I see my son is a little sugary, I'm not going to foster that. I'm going to say, son, go take out the trash. Let me put you in football. Da-da-da-da-da. Now, if it still don't get out of him and he go ahead and live his life that's him. But I did what I could. I'm not going to foster it. I'm not going to beat him up because you can't beat the gay out of nobody either. But I'm not going to sit up there and nurture him acting like a female. I'm gonna say, son, this is what a man do. And more than that, his father will be there to say, son, this is what a man does. This is what he says. This is how he goes to work. He provides for the family. This is what he doesn't do. And then I can say to my daughter, this is what and for these reasons, y'all need to have your separate rooms. Y'all should be hitting each other upside the head till my move big head and you shouldn't be walking out like y'all weirdos in the room together like Siamese twins. That left me on that weird stuff. Like, no. She's absolutely right. They're getting older. They need their privacy because they're separate sexes. They can still love each other and come in each other's room. That's what siblings do and bob each other. But to be actually living in the room together, they should not be doing that. Like, they're different sexes. They need their privacy. So if you guys disagree with me, put it in the comments. I hate how the left is making stuff that was normal for years in every decent Christian household where we know like a brother and a sister still need their separate rooms. They don't need to be up in a room together. They ain't your boyfriend or girlfriend. Y'all ain't both sisters or both males. We know this as Christians, as conservatives, as people with common sense in America. But now the left is wanting to brainwash everybody and make you say, oh, something is wrong with you. Who cares if they're 16 and 17 and they're twins? And even though one is a male and one is a female and one has titties and a vagina and one should be doing this and one should be, they have to be right there in the same room. No, like, I don't want to walk around around my brother in my panties and my bra like I do when I watch TV and eat my cookies in my. I want to walk. Sometimes you want to walk around naked. I can't do that with my brother in the room with me, but I can if I had a sister in the room with me. You know what I'm saying? It's just. And I know y'all be like, why you gonna fall in love with your brother? It's just weird. Like we're separate sexes. The boy need to have a boy's room. Girl need to have a girl's room. It's always been that way. That's the way it needs to be. Nobody's weird, but you liberals trying to mix and make stuff neutral when God never made it neutral. It's common sense. So if you disagree with me, put it in the comments. If you're old fashioned and old school and Christian and conservative and love it. By the way, I used to be Democratic back when it was normal. Now that they all lefties and turning boys to girls and coming into women's sports and women's bathrooms and all abortion and pro-gay and pro-this and pro-pushing on our kids. It's one thing if you choose to live your life separate from God, but don't push it on my kids and bring it to my school. Drag queens reading how to spoon and all these pornographic stories. And I got out of that years ago. And I led my mama to it. And that was my first time voting for Trump and all that back in the day. My mom used to like Trump. That's how I got on to Trump. And I had voted for him when I first voted. But if y'all disagree with me, let me know. All the radical liberals disagree with me. If you're a conservative and you still disagree, let me know. Let me know y'all thoughts, because I just think it's weird how they trying to make the grandma to be like the villain. And I feel like it's normal what she's saying. And I feel like they're trying to make it be like, oh, they can still like, I feel like the left is always trying to make stuff that never was right or neutral okay. You know, put in the gay characters in the Disney movies. Like, why can't it just be a movie? Putting the gay alphabets in elementary. Why can't they just learn their reading, writing, arithmetic? They don't even know about puberty yet. Why are you telling them about some homosexual stuff and then pouring at that in the books? I just feel like they always doing much. Now they saying, oh, a boy and a girl, even if they twin or whatever, you know, they twins. So even if they're different sexes, they can still stay in the room. No, first of all, he's a boy. His voice too soft. He need to put some bass in it. He need to play football, take out the trash. He need to do what boys do. And he need to have his own room, play with some trucks. I don't care if you're in the suburbs, do what boys do. Cut off some doll heads, go play with some snakes, roll around the dirt, climb some trees, build some Legos. Girl need to go over there, paint her nails, have your little tea parties, play with your dolls. And I'm not, like I said, she can drive trucks and she can be a truck driver. She can work construction if she wants to. That's her choice. But it's still certain, they still need to have their separate spaces. Now, of course, like I said, as siblings, they don't come in and play with each other. But as far as living, no, they need their separate spaces. That's my thoughts. So let me know if you agree and if you don't in the comments. Excuse me, I know it's supposed to be over, but just give me 1 minute of your time. Are these people trying to say the grandma is the demonic one, like the weird one? It was okay until, you know, the same people that are saying she's the weird one and it was normal until she said something are the same ones that say it's okay for a little boy to walk around in a princess dress, for a little boy to play with Barbie dolls. Those are the same type liberal, type neutral, type democratic people that say, oh, it's okay for your little boy to walk around in a princess dress, and if he wants to play with Barbie dolls, that's okay. It's the same people that want to play the parents in our schools and say, oh, your daughter came to me and said she feels like she's in the wrong body, so we decided to take your parental privilege or knowledge away of talking to you about what's going on with your child, and just have her start seeing a doctor, and she's actually at the hospital getting the sex change right now. These are the same people that are saying this grandma is wrong, that this grandma is demonic. She's too old fashioned. It wasn't a problem. Y'all can be twins all day long and have a bond all day long without having to be up in the same room with each other. Nobody's doubting the fact that you're twins. The little girl said, well, you don't understand because you're not a twin. Like y'all made a point. You don't understand because you don't have a twin. You don't understand the bond we have. Y'all can have a bond and be twins all day long without having to be sleeping up in the same bed as a boy and a girl. He need to be over here. You need to be over there. They can, like I said, because you can always come in and play and then go to your separate spaces, especially as you're older. I wouldn't even have them in the same room as a kid, because boys need to be around boys so they don't start acting girly. As the same energy, girls need to be around girls. I'm not saying they can't commingle, but we need to make sure that he is acting, talking, sounding, and doing what boys do, not what girls do, and vice versa. She's acting, talking, dressing, looking like a little girl, coming into a young lady. No, there's this neutral demonic atmosphere going on where you bring in the two, and now one is acting like the opposite, and they need their spaces. Now, if everybody's poor and everybody's sleeping in the same room, you know, like it used to be back. That's one thing, right? So it used to be back in the day. A lot of black folks had like 10, 12, 15 kids. Everybody had to sleep in the same room. That's totally different if you have no choice. But if you got a 4, 5, 6 bedroom house and you still want to have a little boy up in here with a little girl just because they twins and got a bond, you can have a bond and be twins all day long and take your little boy self over here and your little girl self over here. But these same people trying to call her demonic are the same ones that say, oh yeah, that's all right. He can wear a crown. He can paint his nails pink. He can play with makeup. It doesn't have to be a gender thing. It should be gender neutral. No, that's not what boys do. No, girls should not be dressing like little boys. No, they shouldn't be having their legs all open with their little dresses and little skirts on. They should sit like a young lady. They should have, if they don't want to play with tea parties, they need to be playing with dolls or doing something girly, something ladylike. There's a difference. And it's okay to accept that and to separate them in those classes, because boys don't do what girls do and girls don't do what boys do. God has it that way for a reason. It's called order. It's structure. It's called Adam and Eve. If that's your sister and that's your brother, okay, what's up, big head? Play with each other, wrestle, and go about your business. We're not trying to sleep in the same room. You ain't my little boyfriend. It's weird. They're not the same gender. It wouldn't be weird if there was 2 brothers or 2 sisters, but if you're trying to have them sleeping in the same room and they 16 and 17 years old, come on, people, common sense. Even 11 and 12, if she's hitting puberty, she on her period, trying to change her pad, and they all up in the same room, and you can help it, you can actually, you can separate them, there's no excuse for that. So, clock it. Put your comments below if you want to come for me. Darling, come. Let us conversate. I know I'm looking like a toucan bird. Peace. Put your comments below, because guess what? I want to know what you think. I want to know if you agree. I want to know if you don't. Clock it. Peace. Until next time. Thanks for watching.